So in your own words, can someone describe to me, so don't read what I have, what an inverse operation is?
An operation that undoes another.
An operation that undoes another. When do we use inverse operations? When we're solving equations. And can we be even a little more specific than that?
When we're isolating a variable.
When you're isolating a variable. So when you're getting a variable by itself and you're moving things from the left to the right of the equal sign or vice versa, we're going to use our inverse operations. Okay? What's always the goal when we're solving equations?
To get the variable by itself.
To get the variable by itself. Can you tell me the difference between an equation and an expression? An equation has an equal sign. Awesome. So yesterday we started a couple of the problems and we did some solving, right? We got through number 4. Does everyone have that? Okay. So let's look at this one. So if I want to solve negative 4x equals 1, and remember all of this is review, so it should be something you're familiar with. If I want to get x by itself, what would I need to do? Divide by negative 4. So we said we're dividing by negative 4. Now you need to leave your answer as a fraction, so your final answer is going to be x equals negative 1/4. We pretty much are not going to change anything to decimals in IM2 that I can think of off the top of my head. Everything's going to be a whole number or we're going to keep it as a fraction. Okay? I actually like fractions better. Yeah. All right. Let's try this one. So y over 4 equals 8. What operation am I currently performing? Division. So opposite of division is multiplication. The 4's are going to cancel and become a 1. So really we just have a y, and 8 times 4 gives us 32. Yes, ma'am? Yeah, which is what we technically are doing here. We're cross-canceling. The next problem, I think it's going to match for you. It's called what?
It's like you circle the numbers instead of like doing that one to see you know like you circle the 4 on the bottom and like a variable like
This way?
yeah, like circle instead of find a reciprocal.
So that, yes, that's fine, because both of these are technically ratios and you can multiply that way. I would just be careful because it's not always going to work if there's other things added to it, okay? What if you have 5/6a equals negative 10? So I'm currently doing what operation? I'm currently multiplying, right? 5 6 times a. Do you agree with that? So opposite of multiplication would be division. Can you divide a fraction? No. You multiply by the reciprocal, so why just not do that from the beginning, right? So let's multiply by the reciprocal. And reciprocal just means we flip that fraction. So on the left-hand side, the 6's cancel, and the 5 cancels, leaving me with a. Now I'm going to make this negative 10 over 1, just so it's 2 fractions. And when we have 2 options. We can simplify and then multiply, or we can multiply and then simplify. Do you have a preference? Okay, I heard both. Whatever is easiest for you is what I want you to do. Okay? I personally think it is easier to simplify and then multiply because then your numbers are smaller to begin with. But if you prefer to multiply and then simplify the fraction, that's cool. Like, you do you. Okay? Now, when I'm simplifying, you can simplify up and down or you can simplify diagonally. So is there anything I can simplify with those 2 fractions? 5 and 10? So 5 goes into itself once. 5 goes into 10 twice. If there's nothing else to simplify, multiply across. So negative 2 times 6 gives me negative 12. And then 1 times 1 is 1. I don't really need that. Do we agree? Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go to my page 9. If you have a ton of room still, that's fine. Yes.
So we can convert these into decimals if we wanted.
No, I want you to leave them as fractions if it's a fraction. So like the only one was the 1/4. It should stay in 1/4 and not go to 0.25. Okay, so leave them as fractions. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Okay, so let's talk about multi-step solving. So multi-step equations. You learned some steps back in IM1 and maybe even before that on how to solve multi-step equations. So I'm going to show you an example, and we're going to talk about what the first step is going to be. So if I give you 3x plus 7 equals -8. What would be your first step in isolating the variable? You would subtract 7. So does everyone agree that we're going to do our addition and subtraction before we do our multiplication and division? Okay, so addition, subtraction, and then our multiplication and division would come after that. So if I subtract 7, I get 3x equals what? -15. Divide by -3, x equals -5. Okay, so we do our addition and subtraction first before our multiplication and division. Everyone okay with that? Yes, ma'am. What if I give you this problem? So what if I give you 7x minus 3x minus 8 equals 24? What would you do first? You would combine like terms, right? We want to simplify either the left or the right of the equal sign before we start moving anything. So I'm going to add combine like terms in front of the addition and subtraction. We won't always have it, but when we do, we should combine like terms first. So my like terms in this case are 7x and 3x, or -3x, giving you 4x minus 8 equals 24. Now it's like the problem above, so I would move to addition subtraction. 32. And then divide by 4. Do you end up with x equals 8? I have one last one I want to look at. So 8x minus 2 times x plus 7 equals 16. So where would I start here? Distribute. So I'm going to add up here with the combined like terms the distributive property. So we need to simplify those sides as much as possible before we do anything else. Okay, if I distribute, I get 8x minus 2x minus 14 equals 16. And because of that distribution, I now have to combine like terms. 8x minus 2x gives me 6x minus 14 equals 16. We're going to add 14 to both sides. 30. Divide by 6. X equals 5. Now, on all of these problems, I have literally shown you every single step, right? I do not expect you to do every single step. If you can do it in your head, that's fine. What I do not want to see is you write the equation and then give me an answer. Okay, but I don't need to see that you're adding 14 to both sides. If you can add 14 in your head, that's fine. If you can divide by 6 in your head, that's fine. Okay, so I expect some work, but I do not expect every single step. We should be past that. If you need to do it, that's okay, but I don't expect you to have it. Cool? Any questions? Fabulous. Okay.